PDF downloads of the African Dialogues, Volumes 1 and 2 are in the links below the description of this video. Charles. We talk to many native Africans who go to church and talk about the Holy Father, the priests, and cardinals. In the spiritual orders, they look to the Master, and it's all compassion and love. You don't accept the title of Master, but you have gained the mastership of the true reality life is. So, how do these qualities of compassion and love play out in what you are presenting to the world? Duane responds, you see what's going on. We've all been through lifetimes of experience, relationships, the sensations of the astral body, the love, the hate, the thrills, all these things. It's all a part of it. That's why we're experiencing it, and all the different body types, from animals to birds to fish. We have all that experience. Now we've come to the point to where there's something else that is a lot more so than we've ever known. But that part you have to decide to see and recognize. All I can do is term it a particular way. We have the idea of love here, which is basically the astral feelings, relationships, etc., which is fine. Everybody makes the choice. I go through that too, and experience those things. But I see that this recognition of this reality becomes completely clean. It's not the love idea, emotional attachment, or looking for sensations to equal something. For the most part, the love idea and the sensations that we experience here are simply body to body, and that's really what it is, and that's fine. It's just a part of it, like eating. It's all okay. But when you look at your real awareness, you don't have to eat or cater to sensations. Look at the sun shining. It's perfectly set and demonstrates a real, pure sincerity. So, what else is there besides what we continually experience here? Again, it's a choice. You decide if this is what you want to keep experiencing day after day, life after life, or do you want to see the bigger picture? What we experience here is in this little tiny place called creation, but it looks big when you're inside the bubble. When you're outside the bubble, it's a speck of dust. To decide to recognize this reality is a whole lot, because as people come into this, they're going to try and bring it around according to the experiences that they have already had. Those experiences are a reference and a comparison, and eventually you realize that you don't need them anymore, because the nowness life is, the isness life is everything. But you have to recognize it, and it's so much better than any love that you've ever had here, any relationship, or anything you like, even the dislikes. Because many people like to dislike things. The love-hate relationships. Just like the cabal, the world controllers. They like to hate and see people suffer. That's their thrill. You have all these things going on here. So, what can be more so than all of that? But each person decides to recognize that. It's not about higher, lower, better, or worse, or any of these things. It's very simple, like the sun shining. Any attitude that you have in the personal sense. Compare it to the sun. You can have that attitude. You can have whatever and do whatever you want. That's your personal business, and you will deal with it. Learn to recognize this reality and see it for what it is. And it's more than any love. So I call it real love. But it's even more than that. And even more than the real freedom that is specified. This is where the recognition comes in, to where you stand being to being with others. This is an awesome position, to where you see what's going on. You really see what life is. It's a seeing. On the whole, it's invisible, but it does have its parts where it is seen. But that's a choice. It's always a choice. This is a big leap, and if you listen to people's questions and concerns, they're always looking at what they have experienced as their reference only, instead of starting something new and taking the risk to see what else is out there. You have to do that, or don't, and stay stuck with what you've known, and nobody can decide that for you. The guides are guides, and like the teachers in school, they don't live the kids' lives. They share things with them. Really, it's just sharing. I don't teach. We don't teach anything. This is not a teaching or a path. The teaching idea is where you're instructing others, and then they become basically set in certain ways and indoctrinated. I don't do that anymore. I've been through that and could see it was very limited. That's where instead I'm sharing and referring and writing references. It's not a teaching, an indoctrination, or an instruction, nor is it a program. You've got to recognize it, and people look at the world and see how the world is, and according to their experience, and that's their only reference. So they just figure that the new presentation is nothing, and to continue to do what they always have. Well, go right ahead, and you will just keep recycling, as you always have, because you keep referring to what you've already been through, instead of taking the risk to see what you can't see. And that's the bigger picture. It's an interesting journey so far, isn't it?